The Great Pyramid of Giza just got even more mysterious than ever. We've all heard how much we love Egypt and how interesting it is, but how much do we really know about this ancient civilization? For centuries, we assumed the Great Pyramid had 4 smooth, perfectly flat sides. 4 flat walls, perfectly aligned. But it changes from now on. Recent researchers from Japan have confirmed a detail that had gone unnoticed even by those who've studied the structure for decades. The Great Pyramid has 8 sides. Each of its 4 faces is slightly indented at the center, creating 2 distinct angled planes per side. It can only be seen from the air and under very specific lighting conditions. And no, it's not a construction flaw or a result of erosion. According to Japanese physicist Akio Kato, the concavity was intentional, which makes it even more fascinating to study. The ancient Egyptians designed it this way with a purpose, as a structural reinforcement to help the pyramid better withstand earthquakes, erosion. Here's what they've discovered so far. 8 sides you can't see from the ground. From the ground level, the pyramid still looks like it only has 4 sides, as always. But from a plane, or during an equinox, when the light hits just right and gives the whole thing a mystical aura, the vertical line that subtly divides each face can be seen, showing something never seen, incredible. British pilot First had already photographed this in 1927, but no one paid much attention to him. Now, with modern technology, has it been confirmed that this division is no accident, it's part of the original design. In 1859, a mathematician, John Taylor, discovered that if one multiplies 2 pi with the perimeter of the Great Pyramid, it would equal the height of the Great Pyramid. His book was published in the same year, and his work was later expanded upon by other researchers like Charles Piazzi Smith. Most of the casing stones covering the Great Pyramid were stolen in the 14th century. Some can still be seen at the top. Fortunately, one was shipped to England where it was scrutinized and verified for its exact measurements, including the slope angle, which measured to 51.8539761 degrees. The Great Pyramid scholar Professor I.E.S. Edwards considered this to have been the normal or most typical slope choice for pyramids as well. This slope angle number is important to us because now that we have the slope angle of the Great Pyramid, we can use basic principles of geometry to verify this answer. One very unusual feature of the Great Pyramid is a concavity of the core that make the monument an 8-sided figure, rather than 4-sided like every other Egyptian pyramid. That is to say, that its 4 sides are hollowed in or indented along their central lines, from base to peak. This concavity divides each of the apparent 4 sides in half, creating a very special and unusual 8-sided pyramid. And it is executed to such an extraordinary degree of precision as to enter the realm. The 8 sides of the pyramid was discovered in 1940, but it was actually first mentioned in La Description de l'Egypte in the late 1700s by Sir William Matthew Flinders Petrie, who was an English Egyptologist and a pioneer of a systematic method in archaeology and preservation of artifacts. He held the first chair of Egyptology in the United Kingdom and excavated many of the most important archaeological sites in Egypt with his wife, Hilda Petrie. Consider his most famous discovery to be that of the Merneptah stele. During studies performed at the site, Petrie noticed a hollowing in the core masonry in the center of each face, and it is actually measurable. This unique and relatively unknown feature is much easier sighted from the air, but under favorable lighting conditions, it can also be viewed from the ground. Many theories were proposed as different researchers and archaeologists studied the pyramids, but until today, no acceptable explanation has been given about why the pyramid is built in such a way. Here are some of the theories proposed. Martin Eisler outlined several theories which he published in his work, concerning the concave faces on the Great Pyramid. To give a curved form to the nucleus to prevent the faces from sliding. The casing block in the center would be larger and would serve more suitably as a guide for other blocks in the same course. To better bond the nucleus to the casing. For aesthetic reasons, as concave faces would make the structure more pleasing to the eye. When the casing stones were later removed, they were tumbled down the faces, and thereby wore down the center of the pyramids more than the edges. Natural erosion of windswept sand had a greater effect on the center. Another theory is that this 8-sided shape isn't just for practical reasons. What if it was meant to be seen from the sky? That theory fits with how Egyptians aligned their temples and monuments with astronomical events, for example with the Orion's belt. This pyramid wouldn't be an exception, of course. There's plenty of documentation showing how it aligns with stars, the sun, and equinoxes. The study doesn't go into esoteric interpretations, but it's easy to imagine this shape might hold symbolic meaning. Could the shape have another use? It's been suggested that the slight concavity may have helped direct rainwater or create the illusion of perfect symmetry when viewed from a distance. What's truly mind-blowing is how they achieved all of this without modern tools, just ropes, wooden rulers, and water levels. They designed a structure with millimeter-level precision. Miraculous doesn't even begin to cover it, and honestly, it's no wonder there are conspiracy theories about how the pyramids were built when discoveries like this keep popping up. What about the other pyramids? While other pyramids, like the one at Meidum or the Step Pyramid of Saqqara, have collapsed or needed restoration, the Great Pyramid remains standing, almost untouched. And part of that endurance lies in details like this: subtle concave designs, hidden corner sockets, and the strategic placement of every block so the whole structure works with gravity, not against it. It's still a riddle, which is what makes it so fascinating. The Egyptians weren't just skilled with stone. They were geometry geniuses, and they didn't need computers or lasers to pull it off. The Great Pyramid of Giza continues to surprise us. And maybe that's the most impressive part of all: after more than 4 millennia, it still keeps secrets.